It's me, it's TRG, the Ramblin' Gambler, and this is Casino Kombat BootKamp. Yes, we spell combat and BootKamp with a K. BootKamp is the gambling concepts from my Casino Kombat podcast, explained in short, detailed segments just for YouTube. It's the podcast stripped of the stories and the jokes. BootKamp can serve as a review for podcast listeners or as an introduction for those just learning about the podcast. In this segment, I discuss the basic ideas behind Casino Kombat and the core concepts. Disclaimer: gambling and casinos can be a fun and profitable side hustle. I've documented that in my main podcast. It can also be a problem for some people. Don't use any of this with money you can't afford to lose, and if you need help, find help. Casino Kombat is a strategy for winning against the casino, and a very specific definition of winning as it is applied to casino gambling. Casino Kombat is a combination of smart, fundamentally sound gambling, and an extreme couponing approach to casino promotions. If you understand the Casino Kombat approach and put it into practice, casinos are not the enemy of this strategy. They are willing partners. If you go into a casino and win money, they will pay you and thank you. Then they will send you offers in the mail for free stuff that you can come in and pick up. And that's their way of bringing you back to the casino. But if you go again and win again, they will pay you again. If you lose just a small amount, they will continue to send you promotions. And that will happen over and over and over as often as you go, as long as you are not cheating. So here are the core concepts of Casino Kombat. Future segments of BootKamp will explain each of these in detail. Concept 1. Learn to play a casino game with a minimum house advantage. I'll explain this and teach you a couple of suitable games in the next segment of Casino Kombat BootKamp. Concept 2. Learn a betting strategy that includes both progressive and regressive components. This one is going to require at least 3 segments to explain, but in those segments I will define and explain both of the concepts and teach you a simple wagering system that you can put them to use with. Core Concept 3. Have a bankroll of money you can afford to lose that is large enough for the size of bets you are going to make. I'll explain this and show you how to calculate this out for any amount of money that you're going to wager. Core Concept 4. Get a player's card from the casino. This is the easiest item on the list and may not even get its own segment. We'll see how that plays out. Core Concept 5. Play your game of choice until you have won a set amount that is small and manageable. For example, use 150 to win 150, and then leave. If you lose 2/3 of what you started with at the table, leave. Return in a day or a week and repeat the process. Now don't get hung up on the dollar amounts. This is an illustration. If wins of that size are not meaningful to you, the strategy scales. Add as many zeros as you can afford to risk. Stick around in future segments and I'll outline how I size wagers and the amount of money to be put at risk. The final part of this strategy may be the most important part. It's that after you gamble at a given casino a few times, they start sending you promotions, money to gamble with, meals, shows, hotel rooms, trips, etc. Casinos become a combination country club, side hustle, and hobby. I use this strategy to gamble a month at a time, not a table at a time, not a day at a time. Ideally at the end of the month, after paying for the expenses of being in a casino, tips, meals, fees, whatever, your gambling bankroll is larger than it was at the beginning of the month. Often it will. But if you don't win, keep the losses small and all the free stuff should cover more than that small loss. And usually the months before and after make up the small losses. In the full Casino Kombat podcast, I detail the wins, the losses, and the free stuff every week in every episode. So there you go. The condensed version of what Casino Kombat is and what it can be used for. If this was useful and or interesting, I'd be thrilled if you decided to subscribe and join the squad as a casino combatant. If you would like to learn more, the next edition explains learning to play with a house minimum advantage, and I will teach you to play an easy game with a very small risk of loss. Thanks, everyone.